Bert Kreischer, what are you doing, man?
I just got out of the polar plunge.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, 3 minutes in the polar plunge, and I just found out intermittent fasting is horse crap.
This Sunday at Atlantic Union Bank Center, we can't wait to see you in Harrisonburg. It's going to be a great time. Bert Kreischer hanging out with us. Your story goes all the way back to 97. You know, the infamous 6 years. Was it 6 years at Florida State University?
6.5, 7. Who's counting?
Who's counting? You're rated the number one partier at the number one party school in America from Rolling Stone, and then Van Wilder comes out, and supposedly that movie was inspired by your story. You are Van Wilder.
I don't know. It has nothing to do with the movie. So making any claim about any of it, I feel a little disingenuous. Having made a movie, I know how much work goes into a movie.
Sure.
So, but yeah, that's what they say.
You've never seen Van Wilder, though.
No, I've never seen Van Wilder. I'll watch it with Ryan Reynolds when he wants to watch it with me.
Do you think he'll ever want to watch it with you?
Absolutely not. Listen, I really, honestly, I want to meet Ryan Reynolds, but I don't want him to meet me and go, "So you're Van Wilder?" I want him to meet me and go,
Right.
"Dude, I'm a big fan of your comedy." You know?
Exactly. And, of course, we could talk about The Machine. That was awesome, that movie, and you worked really hard on that. Did you ever think, like, back when that really happened in your story with the Russian mafia and whatnot, that your dad was going to be played by Mark Hamill in a matter of 20-some years? Luke Skywalker?
No, I used to dress up like Luke Skywalker as a kid for Halloween. I mean, the idea that I know him and his family intimately, that I've shared private jets with him. It's I remember we were on our first private jet together, and we're talking, and I'm like, I got a deep dive. We had just met. I go, I got to ask you everything about Star Wars. And he goes, grab a seat. I'll tell you everything you want to know. And I mean, he spilled the tea. He told me everything about partying and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, and I mean, just like told me everything. And then in the middle, he's like, I love comedy. I was like, really? He's like, my favorite comic's Brian Regan, and we had Wi-Fi on the jet, and I FaceTime Brian Regan. He goes, are you on a private jet with Luke Skywalker? I said, yeah. And he goes, that plane's not going down.
Oh, of course not. And, I don't know why. Of course, your shtick sometimes is taking off not sometimes, all the time, taking off your shirt on stage during your storytelling and your comedy. And I'm just seeing Bert and Mark on a private plane with their shirts off talking about Star Wars. You also have a great stories about your daughter and whatnot. Some are extremely awesome, and some, that are not so awesome, pretty scary, especially the time years ago that, she had a broken jaw and you were rushing over and it was very scary. You ran into somebody at that particular dentist's office. Who was that person?
So it's an interesting story. It was for anyone listening. Georgia was young. She was wearing Crocs. She tripped. She fell. She broke a jaw, knocked all her teeth out, and we had to take her into emergency surgery. It was really scary. They had to put her under, and I did not handle it well. She said to me right before she went under, she goes, "What if I don't wake up?" And I went, "Wait, do we take the body home with us? Like, do we just leave the body here?" Like, I was like, "Oh my God, there's a dentist office."
Right.
I started bawling, crying. I go into the waiting room, sobbing, crying, and there's this black chick trying to calm me down, looking at me, and I'm bawling. I can't see anything. We get done. Georgia's fine. We take her into this receiving room, very expensive dentist in Beverly Hills, and I'm sitting with Leanne in Georgia, and Georgia's still unconscious from the gas or whatever, from the anesthesia. And the black woman walks through the door and through the curtain and puts her arm around me and goes, "It's tough being the daddy, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah." And I look, and it's Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. I sat down with Leanne, held Georgia's head, started talking to Leanne and me about being a parent, and it never gets easy. It's always tough. Don't worry, you're doing a good job. And then the anesthesiologist comes back and he goes, "Whitney Houston, where's Kevin Costner?" And she looks at both of us and goes, "Just put me under."
Oh, wow. What are the chances?
Crazy celebrity run-ins
that
in Hollywood. And you never – I remember one time there was this cute girl writing in her journal at a coffee shop, and I just casually was like, "Hey, hey, what you writing about?" And she looked at me really threatening, like, "What?" And it's Reese Witherspoon. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, Jesus, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. You're going through a breakup with Ryan Felipe. I'm sorry.
Well, this Sunday at Atlantic Union Bank Center, we're going to see a lot. We're going to hear a lot of great stories with you, Bert, and we can't wait to see you. I love how, in watching videos of you and several interviews, there is a common theme here other than the comedy, and that's pretty much you saying yes to everything in your life. Is that the advice you would give to someone?
I would say take every opportunity that's given to you. Take every, you never know what's going to land you. Anytime says, someone who says, do you want to get on stage? The answer is yes, unless you're drunk. Don't get up drunk.
Right.
But, the answer has always got to be yes. You always got to be ready. You always got to be prepared, over-prepared. And yes, I've had more things happen to me simply because I said yes. And that includes, someone, a comic going, hey, there's a party up in the hills, ... throwing it. Do you want to go? Answer is yes. Last night we ended up at a house in the hills with me, Jelly Roll, Zach Myers from Shinedown, Pauly Shore. It was a crazy party.
Wow.
Because I was like, yeah, let's roll the dice. Let's take a walk up the hill.
So how did you like Jelly Roll?
I love Jelly. Jelly's down 65 pounds. We're doing a 5K here at Netflix is a Joke, May 5th. Me and Tom set up a 5K, and Jelly Roll committed to it probably 3 months ago, and he's down 65 pounds. He looks amazing.
Wow.
He wasn't drinking last night. He was eating clean. We both had sushi. He is an absolute inspiration, not just musically, not just everyone who listens to his music, him talking in front of Congress. I'm talking that man health-wise. He got paired up with Dana White, Dr. Brecka, and Gary Brecka, and he's looking phenomenal.
That is so exciting, man.
It's so important. And I know I'm a comic, and I look. I just got out of the polar plunge. I do whatever I can to stay healthy so that I can party my balls off.
Never say no is the moral of the story here.
Water before you go to bed, work out in the morning, and love your family. That's it. That's my message. And don't forget me when I'm dead.
But we're not going to talk about you being dead. We're going to talk about you being alive. And, man, you are alive right now and kicking and doing some great stuff. Can't wait to see you this Sunday at Atlantic Union Bank Center, my friend.
Much love, brother. Thank you for the time.